Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and if you thought only one cheater was going to get caught at Grand Prix Prague, well then you don't know how Grand Prix work. So somehow this one actually floated under my radar on January 12th when it happened and was announced. Probably because I and everyone were focused on Fabrizio getting caught cheating on camera. By the way, we don't have any result from that as far as I know, and yet this one was 2 announcements on their main website. Boy, Wizards is really doubling down on the whole, well, if we caught it on camera, we're going to brush it under the rug. But if it was caught by an opponent or a judge, well, now we're going to make a whole thing about it. We're going to issue a statement and everything. So, boy, I can't wait to see what happens to Fabrizio. But this time we're talking about Sato. That's probably how you say it. So the original statement was, in round 6 of Grand Prix Prague, Magic Pro League member Sato was disqualified. Keep that in mind, Magic Pro League member. It goes on to say, head judge Emmeline Wild explained the situation that led to this decision as follows. Sato was planning what was going to be the last attack of the current game. He went to declare attackers and then noticed that he forgot to play his land for turn, a land that he needed for his attack to work out. He didn't acknowledge this fact and didn't ask for permission to back up to his main phase, but instead he just placed the land onto the battlefield and finished declaring his attackers. During our investigation, we determined that Sato was aware that what he did was against the rules. Really, you don't say. I thought he dropped it by accident. I thought he thought that you could play lands in your combat phase. Thus, he was disqualified from the event. This infraction will be further investigated by the MPL, which is of course My Pony Little. Oh, either that or the Magic Pro League. Which really it's probably just the DCI committee. So fast forward 6 days to January 18th, and they officially announced in the competitive gaming article section, during Grand Prix Prague on January 12th, 2019, Magic Pro League member Sato was disqualified. His infraction and subsequent disqualification was referred to the Player Investigations Committee. So is it the MPL, the PIC, or the DCI? I'd love to know. I'm pretty sure they're all the same person. Or, well, people, probably. Anyway, yeah, he was referred to the Player Investigations Committee for review. After a thorough review of the events leading up to his disqualification, the Player Investigations Committee determined that Sato's disqualification was valid. Gee, you think? That the actions were opportunistic, but not premeditated nor intended to deceive his opponent. Now see, not premeditated, that's important to me. I've said this before. If you go into the tournament thinking, I am going to cheat, I am going to shuffle differently, I am going to hide a card in my lap, I am going to misrepresent the board state whenever possible, well then do me a favor and get out of Pro Magic and never come back. If it's a spur of the moment, oops, I made a mistake, oops, I forgot to unsideboard, let's just not call the judge on myself and maybe I'll get away with it, I kind of get it. I mean, it's better to deal with a small mistake now than later after you've tried to cover it up, ignore it, and willingly misrepresented something. Just call the judge, tell him you screwed up, tell your opponent you want to back up a phase, whatever you gotta do, and just deal with the consequences and try to play better in the future. But remember, the statement was, it was not premeditated nor intended to deceive his opponent. It absolutely was intended to deceive his opponent. I don't know how they could have possibly come to that conclusion. Obviously, I don't have the investigation notes in front of me, but come on. Oops, I forgot to play a land and I need it for my attack and we're in the middle of my attack phase. I'm gonna slip in a land while they're not looking. I mean, how else would that work? What, does he just totally casually, while looking his opponent right in the eyes, just drop a forest into play or something and be like, yeah, that's what you do in this phase? I am pretty damn sure he tried to cheaty face it in while his opponent wasn't paying attention and then he got caught or something. It had to involve sleight of hand or misdirection or something. I mean, you don't just play a land. I mean, unless the actual situation was that he literally said, I'm attacking with this, took his hands off, paused for a couple seconds, then said, oh, wait, I'm going to play a land first. I mean, that would be I'd say, no, we're already past that phase, you missed your opportunity. But I wouldn't call that cheating. I would just be like, oh, you made a mistake and you're trying to back up the phases. And they even said in the original article, he didn't attempt to do that. He did not attempt to either call a judge or ask his opponent to back up a phase to correct his error. So anything else that he tried to do was trying to deceive his opponent. I just don't get how they could have possibly come to that conclusion. So since this is pretty bad, but it's just a momentary individual lack of proper judgment, at least that's my takeaway from it. It states the Player Investigation Committee recommended an official warning. Sato will not be suspended from the DCI. So, I mean, okay, I would say that's probably appropriate. Maybe give him a 3-month ban or a 30-day ban or something to really drive it home that you really should not bend the rules or try to sneak a card into play just because you made a mistake. But wait, there's a twist ending to this one. The final paragraph states, that said, players in the Magic Pro League are held to a higher standard in both play and conduct. Oh, that's hilarious. I'll come back to that in a second. Therefore, the MPL has revoked Sato's invitation to the $1 million Mythic Invitational at PAX East. Oh, that's a shame. There goes some prize money. If I remember correctly, and that is a big if, that's a 32-person tournament. They're giving away $1 million to 32 people. I'm going to take a wild guess that it pays down to 32nd place. He just lost a ton of money. You know what? Forget about a DCI ban. That is some punishment right there, and I find that hilarious. So if somebody pulled this on me, I would tell them, no, we can't back up. You made a mistake. Pay more attention. You're a pro player. It's the 6th round at a frickin' GP. Get 8 hours of sleep, drink some caffeine, show up with proper concentration, learn how to play Magic, or you really shouldn't be here. Little tiny mistakes can cost you entire games and entire tournaments. So, don't make them. That ain't angle shooting, okay? That's waiting for your opponent to make a mistake and just being like, no, sorry, if this was F&M, I'd let you roll it back because I'm not a dick, but we're playing for money here. And I think he knows that. So as far as I could find, there's no long history of Sato cheating. I mean, there could be. Apparently, that's an incredibly common name, and there's some famous motorcycle racer with that name. I don't know if it's him or not. But I don't know, maybe he does have a terrible reputation. Who knows? I'm going to guess with just a DCI warning, he's probably not a super sketch player, because they have notes about like complaints in the past, people calling judges and warnings and that kind of stuff. So if they have a lot of them, they have a history of it, that goes into the investigation. Now let me go back to one wonderful thing. It says players in the MPL are held to a higher standard in both play and conduct. Okay, by conduct, you would think that they mean, it's like other sports, where if you do something disgraceful or dishonor the sport or do something morally reprehensible in your own life, you'll get kicked out, unlike the NFL. No, they're specifically referring to posting memes on the internet and treating women with respect, I would assume, in their opinion. Those are really the only two categories historically. From what I heard, and it's not like I know a bunch of pro names, out of all the people invited to the Mythic Invitational in the, I was going to say Modern Pro League, Magic Pro League, a lot of them are terrible people. In fact, just pro players in general. They're like accused of significant other abuse, we'll say. Cheating on their girlfriends, cheating on their wives, that and worse. There's only so many things you can say without getting demonetized. So a lot of pro players are absolute jerks. They think they're the greatest gift to mankind ever. They're the greatest player in the history of the game, and they can do a bunch of pretty much hip-hop artist crap. They just let their ego go straight to their heads, and now they should take their amazing $5,000 winnings, woo, and be respected by everyone and have multiple girlfriends at the same time and cheat on all of them. Basically anybody who gets a little bit of fame and a little bit of money, they just go nuts with it and they just become an absolutely terrible person, which, I mean, it's not a great way to phrase it. They were clearly a terrible person in the first place. The money just made it worse, and the fame did too. So in reality, they basically have absolutely no standards for conduct at all for the Magic Pro League. At least that's what I've seen, evidently. And honestly, the same thing apparently goes for the DCI system. Unless you cheat at a tournament or say anything vaguely sexist or racist except against white people or males, they don't really care what you do in your personal life or what you say on social media, especially. Oh my gosh. But Pepe memes, oh my gosh. You post a Pepe meme, you're out. That's it. So what do you guys think about this? Should he have not been kicked out of the MPL, but given a 3-month suspension, which I don't actually know when PAX East is, so that might not have worked. Is it an appropriate punishment? Is it going too far? Do you think it's a good lesson for everybody else not to pull crap like this and to actually concentrate on the game? Personally, I think overall it's pretty appropriate, I guess. And hopefully he won't do it again. By the way, here's something I couldn't figure out. The next Mythic Championship is on February 22nd through the 24th at Magic Fest Cleveland. It's not at PAX East. So is he still in the Mythic Championship for that one? Or is that one qualification only and it's not hand-picked? It's not an invitational? I don't know. I couldn't find enough information. If you ever tried to find information about a Wizards of the Coast event, good luck. It's just not anywhere. Or it's scattered between 5 different websites. Okay, let me read the details that they stated for Magic Fest Cleveland because this just clears it right up. Mythic Championship Cleveland, which, okay, I thought it was called Magic Fest Cleveland. So what's a Mythic Championship? Is that a Pro Tour or is that a Grand Prix? Oh, they stopped using those terms. Oh, wait, they just called it GP Prague in the last article. That's weird. So, Mythic Championship Cleveland will feature 16 rounds of Swiss on Friday and Saturday with 3 rounds of Ravnica Allegiance Booster Draft followed by 5 rounds of Standard Constructed on each of those days. How the hell does that work? After 16 rounds, wait a minute, what's 16 plus 3 plus 5? But after 16 rounds, the event will cut to the top 8 players who will return Sunday to compete in single elimination Standard Constructed using the same deck they registered for Friday and Saturday. Top 8 single elimination. I don't think I've seen that before, so I still don't know what the hell kind of event this is. Is the draft separate? Is the constructed 5-round separate? What's the 16 rounds? Who can qualify? Is this the one you can get into by playing on Arena? Any of this information would be wonderful, but they're sure as hell not going to give it to you. So I don't know what the hell is going on February 22nd, but there's one thing I do know about it, and that's somebody's going to get caught cheating. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button because I always cover every instance of somebody getting caught. So thanks Sato for all the views, and I'll see you guys next video.